Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt again here, and I want to quickly go over, just as a refreshment, my main goal with this whole channel. I love to teach praise and worship songs, but my whole vision when I was praying and asking God to use me, my vision and my goal of this channel is to get myself and particularly a younger generation to understand the importance of God's Word. I feel like so many times as the years progress, we become less and less reliant on God's Word. And if I could give any one bit of advice, just one piece of advice to a younger generation, it's never underestimate the importance of God's Word. No matter how much the times may change, God's Word never changes and is always relevant and is always the path to a happy life, a fulfilled life, a life that is bigger than yourself, and the life that ultimately shows us the road to heaven through Jesus Christ. So many of you might say, okay, you've convinced me, I want to get involved with the Bible, what should I do? What I recommend, a lot of people write me and say, where do I start? I recommend starting with maybe the Gospel of Luke. Now the Bible is broken down in two sections, the Old Testament and New Testament. If you want kind of a summary of what those are about, go to Bible Helps on acousticselection.com, and I have two videos going over the Old Testament and going over the New Testament. So watch those. But the Old Testament talks about creation and the fall of man and the flood and Moses and so forth. The New Testament, and they have this sin nature in the Old Testament, and they're always wishing to escape this sin problem that's internal in them. And they keep prophesying to a Messiah that's going to ultimately come and save the world, and that's Jesus Christ. And that's what the New Testament is. After 400 years of silence, the New Testament starts and talks about Jesus Christ, then the start of the church. Then you have Paul, who went out and planted churches in these different cities. It shows his letters to him. Then ultimately Revelation talks about the end of times and what's going to happen with that. So where do you start? I recommend you have the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That goes over the life of Jesus. I would recommend maybe starting at Luke, the book of Luke. Luke is a physician that went around and interviewed certain people during the times of Jesus, and he just collected ideas to tell the story of Jesus. What was he like? What did he do in his time on earth? What were his miracles? What were his teachings? That's the book of Luke. And Luke and Acts is a two-part book. So read the book of Luke and then skip over and read the book of Acts. Because that talks about after Jesus was resurrected, he died on the cross, in the tomb, resurrected on the third day, and then the church starts from there. So that's why a lot of people, most people don't realize the church is not just about faith and just something unseen. The church started, all these people saw Jesus die on the cross, saw him buried in a tomb, and then witnessed him coming back. He came back down and said, go make the disciples. And that's it was originally called the Way. These people were termed the Way, these early Christians. They saw Jesus and they said, we got to tell people about this. And that's how the church started. So that's the book of Acts. And it talks about Paul being the Apostle Paul. I mean, Saul, who was the greatest condemner and person trying to stop Christianity, to go on to be converted to Paul on the road to Damascus, and he went on to write more of the Bible than anybody. So start out with Luke, read about the story of Jesus, his life, and then go over to Acts and read about how the church started. It's a great place to start. Then after that, maybe message me, we can go from there. But I highly recommend get in God's Word. I say all the time, the primary way God speaks to us is through His Word. Never, never forget that. So shoot me a message, got any questions? Hope you guys have a great day. In this whole video, right before I did this thing, I cut my finger, not sure if you can see that, on a piece of glass. And it's throbbing. So I gotta go get a Band-Aid. Anyway, love you guys. God bless you.